Everyone, I hope you had a great weekend. Welcome back in. We're in week 5 now, so we're in the downward swing of things. And all together, as we keep on moving along, we're going to get closer and closer towards the end of the year and to graduation for many of you. So let's take a look at what we have for the week. Altogether, it's a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to some of the things we're going to study this week. First thing, your presentations once again look very, very good. And altogether, very proud of what you guys have done so far on these presentations. And I assembled a collaborative slides that you're going to take a look at on Monday of this week. And so if I scroll down the overall overview, on Monday, you're going to take a look at those collaborative slides, the slides that you assembled. I want you to take a look at some of these businesses and just the firepower of some of these businesses. What I mean by it is how much money they're bringing in, how many people they're employing. These businesses are huge for us. They're huge for York County. If they weren't here, a lot of people in York County wouldn't stay here. We'd have to go someplace else to go find work. And they are very prideful jobs. They're jobs where you can have that job and you can last a lifetime. And so these businesses are fantastic businesses. We're thankful that they are here, that they call York home. Altogether, we need businesses like that for us to live in a place like this, for us not to find work someplace else and find a new home. So take a look at them. I want you to gain a respect again for what York has to offer. On Tuesday, you've talked a lot about these male leaders, more men leaders all over the place. There are a lot of women business leaders too, and I want you to look at that. And so a class last trimester actually assembled a women's history book. And so I want you to take a look at their work. I want you to see what they assembled for you. Many of the females in there are female business leaders that lead places like WellSpan and different organizations like UMPC Hospital, the new Memorial Hospital. It's located towards West York area. So I want you to see these females that have contributed heavily to York's history and York's present. Now, at the end of that, you're going to complete your first assessment of the week, and that is for Tuesday here. You're going to complete a quizzes that has to do with some of the businesses of the present day and also those female heroes of York County's past and present. And from there, we're going to switch gears. We're going to move to our race relations in York County unit. Now, with that, you're first going to take a look at York County's role on the Underground Railroad. And you can't really just talk about York County's role without also connecting to Lancaster County's role on the Underground Railroad. So Wednesday is going to be about our role, and then Thursday is going to be about Lancaster County's role on the Underground Railroad. And then continuing that new unit on race relations in York County's history, we are then going to look at when York County truly changed, and a couple of articles here. The first one is about the Bamberg move-ins from the 1920s, the Nimmons family that came here around 1928, that then had cousins and sisters and brothers move up to York County. And then all of a sudden, we had an overall change-up in our ethnic makeup of York County. And we had much more diversity than we previously had. And not all York Countyans were entirely inclusive and welcoming of this new African-American population to York. And there was a pop-up of the Ku Klux Klan. And so that's something else that comes into the fray as well. But we're working towards a terrible moment in York's history. And we're going to look into that one next week. It's going to be the 1969 York City race riots. And so with this, the first thing we want to look at is how did York receive these new arrivals, these people from South Carolina, these African-American families that came up? And with that, York did something that has to do with housing discrimination, and that process is called redlining. There are certain neighborhoods that had different restrictions saying that African-American families or different minority families could not live there. And so I want you to see some of those rules. I want you to see some of the neighborhoods where African-American and minority families could live and also could not live in York. And so that's going to be part of Friday's overall lesson too. Now, I missed one thing in talking about it before. After you're done talking about and looking at an adventure with the York County Underground Railroad story, and then also finding out some information about the Lancaster County Underground Railroad story, you're going to have another quizzes game to complete. And so that one is for Thursday's lesson. And then for Friday, you also have a Google form to complete at the end. So altogether for your assessments, as you see them here, after you take a look at the businesses and also the female heroes of York County, you have a quizzes there. Another quizzes on York and Lancaster on the Underground Railroad. And then you have a Google form that has to do with the reception of these Bamberg families from South Carolina, these African-American families, and the kind of racial laws that York County instituted that showed that we weren't necessarily that welcoming of these people coming here and joining our population. So altogether with that, I will say I want you to wrestle with some of your thoughts about York. I want you to be honest and look hard at the way people are treated in York County within this unit. I want this to test you. And so I want it to be real, and I want you to understand that York has had a pretty tough past in our overall racial acceptance, and maybe we still do today. Lastly, for you to get a 4 this week, the one thing that I instituted last week, because our entire department is doing this exact thing and much of the school is doing this, is to get a 4, you have to complete the challenge activity. A couple people took that challenge and completed the challenge activity last week. If you want to try to get a 4 this week, you have to do that challenge activity. And that activity is this. It's pretty simple. And it actually has come about because one of my students from last trimester did this exact thing. I want you to reach out to a York County business leader. Go to the website of whatever business you want to. Reach out, ask them about their passion for business, what they love about their business, what makes their business so unique, so special, what gives them the drive to work at a place like that every single day. Altogether, what I want to share with you is that that student that reached out to one of those business leaders is now going to have an internship with a York County company, and who knows where that might lead. Maybe this will lead to a job for you someday. Maybe it'll lead to an internship next year or over the summer. Whatever it may be, it'd be pretty cool. And honestly, I doubt that these business leaders have too many people reaching out day in and day out trying to get in touch with them, especially a young person like you. So reach out to one of these people. If you do that and you share that email that you're going to send with that business leader, you share that with me, you have a chance of getting a 4 for the week. All right, thank you. Please let me know what questions you have as we go along the week. Have a great one.